Marianne.
Hi, Beth.
I really appreciate you doing this video with me,
Yeah.
taking your time out of your day. So I just have been wanting to do this series forever, right? Like sort of, everything about Lexington with, by people.
hmm
Um, so we have been doing places like the head of the DPW and then, Monroe Center for the Arts and then someone on the historical and then people with businesses in town that you may or may not know about, right? Because there's
Yeah.
kind of behind closed doors. So, and there's certainly a lot of foundations in town, right, that do great things that I think some people know about and some people don't.
Mhm. That's
So
true.
I was on LEF for a while, but I mean, I've been here 11 years. Like for the longest time, I didn't even know what LEF was, right?
Yeah. Unless you
So,
unless you're entrenched in the school. Yeah, you know.
right. How about you? What's your take on town?
My take on town. Yeah, I've been here now 12 years, which is hard to
Uh,
believe. It's been a long time. Probably longest than my husband and I have been anywhere other than where we grew up. Um, I think Lexington is an amazing place. I mean, the history, the people who are here, it's people are very engaging and engaged into their community. I think we take for granted how much we have here and how involved people are, and it's a great community. So,
Nice.
yeah, yeah. So that's how I got involved in CEL because
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
So, most people who are involved in sort of these are just like the chronic volunteers, right? Like we're
yeah,
always volunteering to
true.
something, right? We're the
Yes,
parents,
yes,
the class parent, and then, they get to high school and you're like, okay, now what? Okay, I can do this. So
yes, yes.
you find
Yeah,
that the case.
yeah, I think we have a board of about 13 people, and I think we're all chronic volunteers. Yeah. We have people who are LEF. My co-chair, Ann Sorel, was a former LEF chair, and we have lots of people from LEF. We have people from Carey Foundation. We have people from Historical Society, Cal, of course, all different school committees. So I think we have at least one or two members of town meeting. Yeah. So
Mhm.
we're all people or hired
Chronic,
volunteers. Yep. Yep.
chronic volunteers. So
Chronic volunteers.
can't
Can't
help
say no.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Can't help ourselves. So, well, what can you tell me about what do you call it, CEL? Is that the
Yep, that's our short, our logo, CEL, Community Endowment
okay.
of Lexington. So we are an endowed fund under the auspices of the Foundation for Metro West. So we were founded in collaboration with the foundation by a group of citizens of Lexington who wanted to start a fund here. So the Foundation for Metro West is a bigger group that's all over Metro West area and has town funds and as well as its own work. And so some Lexington citizens wanted to start one here, and that goes back to 2013, I think. And so they raised over 5 years, they raised $1 million, and we
Wow.
have a $1 million endowment that we manage, as well as doing our own fundraising every year so that we can put as much money out to the community as we can and try to keep, the endowment for the future. So we've been giving out grants now since 2014, and we've given out over $200,000 to over 30 organizations. So we give grants to nonprofits and town agencies that either are in Lexington or work in Lexington in the areas of health and human services, arts and culture, the environment, and community building.
Okay.
So those are our areas. So when the founders put the fund together, they sort of talked to a lot of members of the community to see where were the areas that were most needed help in town. And school already has LEF, and there already is like the Dana Home Foundation for elderly services and things like that. So these were more areas that didn't have the same funding, especially in the
Mhm.
arts. I think there aren't that many places here that help out in the arts. So those are sort of the niches that we try to fill.
Okay. So how do you go about applying for a grant?
Yeah, so we started in 2014 giving an annual competitive grant. So we have a competitive process that we're actually going through right now as well. It's a process from it opens in January, goes through June. where anyone who's eligible can apply to us. And usually that's been in, new programs, new initiatives that a startup or a nonprofit wants to start up. So we like to sort of fund innovative new ideas and kind of get them going to see how they go and see if they can sustain that thereafter, which we've done with a lot of groups like SNAP, for example, the Special Needs Arts Program. They've done a number of grants through us, or starting up classes and things for them in the arts for special needs community. And that's something that they can keep going. We also fund some sort of one-time projects and things for groups. And we've been giving out those grants now annually. So that's a process where they apply, and then we have a committee that reviews them, and we usually do due diligence on everybody. We usually break it down into people who make it to the next step, and then we do due diligence, and then we grant to what we can. And last year we granted about 38,000. I was about 38 to $40,000 a year, about what we've been giving every year.
Mhm.
And then last year in 2019, we started a capacity building grant program, which is we started, our first recipient of that was GWAC, the Global Warming Action Coalition. And that is to help a nonprofit build their internal capacity. So it's something that's not, things that nonprofits really need, internal work, but they don't always get grants for, because usually grants are for more programmatic type things. So this one was sort of focusing on those groups that really need to work internally for internal structure. So GWAC was our first recipient, and they got the full $10,000, and they've been able to sort of retool themselves entirely, sort of rethink their membership structure, redo their website, redo their kind of internal organizational structure. So that's been, and they've been very successful. They also did a whole internal working. They worked with some consultants. So that was great for them. And then in December of 2020, we just did our new capacity building grants. And those went to three different organizations, one to LexRap, the Refugee Assistance Program, to sort of help them do training manuals for their volunteers on because they do a lot of legal work really for people. They have to help in education, healthcare, legal issues. So that'll help them put together some of the needs they have in a handbook. We also funded Lex Farm to help their managers take some training courses, and we also help Monroe Center on a marketing study to help them, especially in this time. We
Mhm.
also were able to this year, in this past year, give out our first emergency grants. We always sort of had a bucket for that, but we never really had a need until a pandemic hit us all.
Right.
So we were able in June to sort of pivot and give out, we gave $5,000 each to the Interfaith Food Pantry, to the Lexington Symphony Musicians Fund, and to Monroe Center as well. So that was our first set of emergency grants, and we're still thinking, there might be more to come in there. So we've been really, fortunate to be able to expand our grant making.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell me about your fundraising. What do you do for fundraising?
Yeah, so we had a group of founders who are, sort of those hyper involved people at Lexington, which is great, they're our original founders. And we also have a lot of people we keep on our contact list, and we reach out to them as a board. We're all volunteers here at Community Endowment of Lexington. And our board and our advancement committee, we send out, we have an annual appeal every fall, and
Okay.
we really just do it the old fashioned way, send letters to people,
Oh, okay.
handwrite the notes. And through the year, we're just trying to keep our name out there. So it's great to talk to you and be able to reach some more people. We're trying to expand our word out there and into the Lexington community through the local media. We sponsored a Lexington Symphony concert, trying to get our name out there. But we really do it through our annual appeal is our biggest fundraiser.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And how about volunteers? Do you always need volunteers? I mean,
We always need volunteers. Happy to take anyone, anytime. But it's really, I mean, yeah, because if we want to expand and do more things, we have this grand plan that we want to have a big event called Lex Doing Good, which we had set up to do in April 2020, which we couldn't do. We were all set with the library and with a lot of nonprofits sort of have like a fair kind of thing, and where each nonprofit would have a table, and everybody would be able to sort of talk about themselves and reach out to people and let people come in. And it was going to happen at the same time as the arts event in the spring with open studios,
Right.
so that people would be coming through and people would be able to learn more about this. And it would be a way also for um, a way for the nonprofits to know each other too. And that's something we're proud of, is bringing nonprofits together as well, not just to give them grants, but also connect them. And we've been able to do that sometimes. Say, oh, you work in, food rescue. How about, this group that needs food, and can we bridge you together? Or you need a performance, this group performs. And, we like to bring people together as well. And that we do want to have this event. It's going to happen when we're all in a safer place. So hopefully, I don't know if it's going to be 2021, maybe 2022, but we will have Lex Doing Good. So we always need volunteers. Happy to have them. We have this board of 13. We also have committees
Okay.
with people. And so, depending on how involved people want to be, whether you want to be just involved in a project or in larger um, things, we're happy to have people. We'd love to expand our social media presence, but we need somebody to do that.
Mhm.
If we have Lex Doing Good, we need people to help out with the event. And it's just a great way to meet people. I've met tons of people through this that I wouldn't otherwise meet. I think you get stuck with your kids or your interests or your neighbors. You don't. So I've met, people I wouldn't have met otherwise, and different age groups, different demographics of the community.
Mhm.
So, and plus you just learn so much about what's going on in Lexington, which you don't, it's just amazing. Like, I didn't know all of these groups existed. You didn't realize how much need there really is, even in a
Mhm.
place like Lexington. So it's just a great way to give back to the community and learn
Nice.
more about it. Yeah.
Nice. So what would you say was your the favorite grant? What was your favorite grant that went out in the past couple of years that you were like, oh, that was a good one? That'll
Wow. That's a good question. I don't know. There've been so many that have been, I will say the SNAP grants have been really amazing, because it really, if you go to a concert with, like, they have a SNAP chorus, a special needs chorus, and it's really, I mean, they're really appreciative. So that's an amazing group. And I think we've all realized what an amazing group they are. I think you just learn in town just how much work people are, how busy people are, and really trying to do. I mean, the Monroe Center, Christina Burwell does amazing stuff, bringing people together, working
Mhm.
hard on a shoestring budget, and you really appreciate what people are doing for our community. Same with the food pantry. I mean, they have very few volunteers there. Usha Thakkar, I mean, they do amazing stuff there.
Right.
Also, very few people. So it's just, I just feel privileged to be able to help out these groups, and same with the Lexington Symphony. They do so many, um, reach out to the community, and we were able to give to their musicians fund in a time of need. So we're grateful for
That's
that.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Because
It's
that's
hard to pick a favorite because
okay.
they're all important.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Yeah,
It is true. So,
yeah.
well, I want to thank you for your time. Hopefully, this will help bring some more, money or so. Do you have an address that people can send donations? Because I'm to like, who do they send it to?
Yes, we have. Well, if you go to our website, which
Okay.
is lexingtonendowment.org,
Okay.
or if you just Google Community Endowment of Lexington, it'll come up. It's actually a website through the Foundation of Metro West. You'll see, but if you go directly to Community Endowment of Lexington, you will see us there, and you can give. There's a donate button right there, so that's probably the easiest way. You
Okay.
can also mail things in to the foundation. Best though to say Community Endowment of Lexington, so they know it's us and not
Mhm.
another town fund. But the donate button on our website is the best place.
All right, good. All
Yeah.
right. Well, hopefully more people will press that button. So,
Yes. And if anybody wants to volunteer, please write to us at chair@lexingtonendowment.org, and it'll come to us. And
all right, awesome.
yeah,
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time and all you do for the town. I really appreciate it.
yeah, well, thank you.